And just taking a couple of nice deep breaths just to arrive. And after we've taken those couple of breaths, just taking a few moments for ourselves just to settle into whether we're wanting to sit or lie down for this practice, just noticing how we're sitting or lying. It's always good at this point just to ask ourselves a very simple question, can I be 10% more comfortable? And if so, just getting ourselves a little bit more comfortable. And remembering again, this coming back to those three foundations, that no expectation, the always with kindness, and also the idea of repetition, that actually through this practice, not only are we trying to get better at being able to move our attention through our body in a more purposeful way, but also getting comfortable with being distracted, being comfortable with the changing set of emotions that we have within us, that we can never outthink thinking with more thinking, that actually the best way of managing or self-managing is through firstly nurturing, but just to guide our focus away from the requirement just to think and into the body, into the breath, into sounds. And just like with every practice, I just want you to realize that you're always completely in control. You can open and close your eyes as much as you want. If you become too uncomfortable with your practice, you can either move your position, or you can stop practicing. But ultimately what we're trying to do is get a bit more comfortable with being uncomfortable, but don't want to take it too far. That meditation should still be enjoyable all the same. Let's bring our focus to our breath now, if you already haven't. And just watching the flow, watching the movement of breath. This doesn't mean trying to control it. There's this idea of knowing that we're breathing. Even with that knowing that we're breathing, looking at also the quality of breath. Are they short breaths or deep breaths? Am I breathing through the nose or through the mouth? Am I breathing more into the shoulders than my stomach? We're just noticing that we're breathing. This doesn't mean trying to control it. If you are short breathing and into the shoulders, just let it happen naturally. We're not particularly trying to relax anything. We're just arriving, breathing, and the relaxation happens naturally. It's even nice just to accept that we aren't relaxed sometimes. And in that acceptance lies relaxation itself. But from the breath now, As we move into the sort of more embodied part of the practice, as we move through the body, not that the breath isn't embodied, but it's only part of it. So let's see if we can guide our focus of attention, guide our awareness, guide our concentration just onto the forehead. And that's often a part that, for me, as I bring some focus to it, it feels quite energetical. It feels like there's a lot of movement. It doesn't matter what you feel and what you don't feel. We're not looking for good or bad sensations, just whatever arises as we gently place our focus on that area. And so from the forehead, we're going to bring some of that awareness up to the top of the head. And just reminding yourself that a big part of this practice is about getting distracted. Just at the moment, we're moving through the passive style practice, the calm abiding, softening the mind, getting comfortable with busy mind, letting the mind wander, and we come back. And every time we come back with this sense of nurturing, warmth. There's no battle to be won, no comparisons, no expectations. As we gently guide that awareness round to the back of the head. And you're even being comfortable with no sensation. But maybe within that field of awareness, there's just nothing there at the moment, and that's okay. Let's move down to in between our shoulder blades, the base of our neck. When I do this practice, I always think about Eckhart Tolle's, spotlight of awareness. What he calls it, spotlight of awareness, where these sensations seem to light up as we begin to sort of guide this focus, this light of awareness. That we're just sort of turning the torchlight, harnessing that focus just on a particular area. Now our mind will wander, it'll jump to different parts of the body all the time. But in the same way we manage other distractions, we just gently guide our focus back. And at the moment it's just between the shoulder blades. That's all we're doing. As we move out to the shoulders, the rotator cuffs, you might call them, right out to the tip of the shoulders. And from the shoulders, let's move all the way down into the elbows. And this time we're just on the underside of the elbow. If you're sitting or lying down, maybe there's a sense of pressure as it's pressed against the body or the floor. And from our elbows, let's come down to our wrist. Or wrists, I should say. And when we go into these two parts, for me in my practice, I love just shifting from the left to the right. Noticing what feels different, feels the same. Not trying to compare, just interested, curious, noticing. Not trying to change it, and comfortable in being distracted. Now down into our hands and fingertips. I want you just to work your way down through the palm, all the way to the end of your fingers. And we're just going to try and hold our focus, hold our attention, narrowing that spotlight of awareness just on our fingertips. Now maybe you want to go from thumb to all the fingers on each hand, just gently work your way along. Maybe within the sort of field of awareness, you can hold that focus on all of the fingers and thumbs together. Maybe noticing which fingers you can feel more than others. And now let's come back to our wrists again. And back to our elbows. Maybe noticing, are they more prominent now than they were? And now onto our shoulders. Again, just a warm reminder that you're always in control. If there's parts of you that you don't enjoy, that create a sense of anxiety or stress in the body, that move beyond uncomfortable, just trying your best to be curious about it, but giving yourself the permission to move away, to open your eyes, to take a few moments for you, to stop practicing. You are completely in control. I am merely a guide. And back to our shoulder blades. Now let's come down to the middle, maybe just behind the heart, just above the belly, along the spine. This idea of just being able to move from sensation to sensation. There's a sense of at the start, self-control. But previously, we used to fill the spaces with thoughts and distractions, comparisons, negativity a lot of the time, daydreaming. And we're just learning how to be with that which isn't thought about. Grounding ourselves in the wisdom of the body. That often some of our greatest experiences can be found in the most quietest of moments. I think that's a Nietzsche quote, actually. Let's move down into the hips now. And remembering no good, no bad. Distraction is excellent. Not trying to control it. And from our hips down into our knees. You're all doing amazing. Let's really work with the underside of our knee. Now down to our ankles. And into our toes. And let's just hold some focus in our toes just for 30 seconds, just noticing. Again, I'll come back to this word information, because that's what's being processed. This mind of ours is just processing our toe information at the moment. It's allowing us to explore what toe is, what we've defined toe to be from an energetical perspective. that we're reminding, in one sense, our earthly mind that we want to pay a keener interest in the body. And just by holding attention to these places, this information can often be provided as we come back to our ankles, and to our knees. As we continue on to our hips again. And we come around the front of our body. Let's just place some focus just at our stomach. We can really get a sense of whether or not we're breathing down to the stomach. Again, it comes back to that quality of breath. From the stomach, it's come into our heart. Again, we're not so much looking for the beat of it, just holding our gaze, holding focus, harnessing awareness in that area. Maybe you can feel the beat, maybe it's just breath. As we come up into the throat, and sometimes it's nice just to open our mouth a little while. So I often do as I come into this part, just feeling the air as it comes down through the throat. As we continue on to the jaw and the teeth, the mouth, the lips, the tongue. And back to the nose again. Noticing the air as it's flowing into and out of our nose. And again, coming back to the quality of the breath. Maybe as you're noticing the breath, the movement of breath now, you're noticing if it's different from right at the start and what's changed. And you're not trying to change it again, you're just curious. We finish just with a little bit of compassion. As you're just noticing your breath, I just want you to spend a few moments and just have some thoughts about what is it that you feel you need right now. And I want you to move beyond the material, hungry, and things like that. But maybe right now you've had a tough day and you just needed a bit of compassion. Or maybe you've got a tough tomorrow and you're needing a bit of strength. Maybe you've been a bit hard on yourself and you're just needing a little forgiveness. But every time you breathe in, I want you to, almost like you could breathe that word into your body. If if it is forgiveness, just breathing in and saying forgiveness, like you could breathe forgiveness directly down into the body and into your heart. You get strength, warmth, compassion. The word can change as often as you'd like. Maybe you just like the meta phrases, the may I be happy, may I be healthy. And imagine breathing that health down into the body. And just keep repeating that word or words over and over again with every breath. Forgiveness, strength, warmth, compassion, tenderness. Now, if you want to, I want you to imagine one person you know in your life that's struggling, one person that's going through a tough time right now. Maybe it's the same as you, maybe it's different. I want you to connect with that part of you that maybe has been where they have been before. Maybe you've felt anxious, maybe you've put yourself down, maybe you felt frustrated, angry, sad. And connecting with this person in that way, this recognition that we are truly interdependent beings, that how I feel may not be exactly the same, but I know how it feels. And as you connect with that place within you that is similar within others, I want you to change your word and breathe out what you feel they need. Maybe it's just strength, patience. Maybe it's compassion. And I want you to imagine like you could breathe that compassion over to them. Breathing over warmth, breathing over forgiveness, breathing over strength, patience, whatever it is. Now, this word can change and the person can change. It doesn't need to be perfect. But every breath out is a breath for them. And I just want you to see them receiving it. I want you to see them receiving your warmth as you continue to breathe out for them, breathing that strength towards them, breathing that compassion. And they just look at you and say thank you. And then they disappear from your thoughts. And the word disappears, and then there's just you. Just resting and breathing. Doesn't matter how well you've done, how busy your mind was. We're just content. It's a big just, but I'm just taking these last few moments just for you, last few breaths just for you. And as you hear the sound of the bell, you're allowing your eyes to open. And as you open your eyes, I just want you to come back into the body again. I just want you just to take a few more moments, just another 15, 20 seconds, just getting a sense of the body as one. This symphony of sensations just happening all the time. This constant call to remember.